motivation and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Canelo Alvarez, where he said fatigue is the only reason he lost to Dimitri Bivol. Let's take a listen. He said a lot of other things we're going to discuss too, but that's the main thing that he said that I found intriguing. Let's take a listen.
Now, absolutely honoured to be joined by the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, how are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm ready. I'm ready to come back stronger than ever.
Glad to hear it. Obviously, the last fight against Dimitri Bivol did not end the way you would have liked. How many occasions have you watched the fight again? And what
I watched it like 2 times, 3 times. And I just get tired. That's it. That's what I lost.
What can you learn from that defeat?
No, I learned a lot from that defeat. And always you learn from win and lose too. But what I need to tell you is I'm more dangerous than ever. And I'm ready to come back.
Now, a lot of people talked about your position in the pound-for-pound rankings after the Bivol fight because you're not really a light heavyweight. And so many people felt you should still be pound-for-pound number 1. What is your view?
No, I feel the best. I feel the best because not a lot of fighters do what I do because they are scared to lose. And I'm not. I try to accomplish a lot in my career, and that's it. And I feel good. I feel proud what I did. And this occasion, we lost, and it is what it is.
And you had to choose between an immediate rematch with Bivol or Triple G first, then Bivol.
Just next day, I tell Eddie Hearn, say I want the rematch in September. It's the only fight I want in September. But we have contracts before, and we make these 2 deal fights with this on, which is Bivol and Golovkin fight, and we are here. We need to do this fight, and then we want to start talking about the rematch.
All right. So a few things to break down. Canelo says he lost the fight because he was fatigued against Bivol. Then he says he's proud of what he's done, and he thinks he's still the number 1 pound for pound because he's fighting the best, unlike these other fighters. And then the third thing he says is that he wanted to fight Bivol in an immediate rematch, but he was contractually obligated to fight Triple G because of the deal he signed with DAZN. So that's the reason why he's fighting Triple G. And then he wants to fight Bivol after. I'm turning it over to Single G. What's your reaction to those main 3 points that Canelo discussed?
All right, well, the first thing, I'm actually happy that Canelo explained why he's not going for the immediate rematch with Bivol, even though I didn't want him to go to the immediate rematch with Bivol. But the fact that he has a good reason is, he's contractually obligated to face Triple G next. I could respect that answer. So, kudos to Canelo. Now, in regards to the fatigue thing, obviously he was fatigued because your fighting style requires a lot of muscle. You're going for heavy body shots, power shots. You're throwing hooks. You know what I mean? Like, you could see Canelo using everything he has with every punch. While Bivol was, for the most part, was just throwing arm punches. Like, Bivol was it was like he understood his cardio. Canelo, however, he was trying to go for the knockout every round. And that has to play a toll on your cardio. So, that's like a no-brainer, Canelo. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest. Even if he switches it up, I don't know if he could beat Bivol, man. And it's okay, Canelo. Like, you're not a natural 175er at all, bro. You're like, you know what I mean? So maybe just staying at 168 is your body's limit, because the bigger you get, you're going to start cutting back on a lot of things, and endurance is going to be one of them. Like, I forgot Canelo's height, but, your body can put on only so much. 5'9", and Bivol's like what, 6 feet? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the major height reach disadvantage, man. It's okay. So I don't know. Like it sounds cool, but I don't think Bivol, you should be really playing games with Bivol. So and then finally, when he was talking about the he should still be number one pound for pound because he's taking, the risk. I mean, yeah, I agree and I disagree. So, like, yeah, you want to applaud a guy that, is taking chances, but if you start losing, I gotta be like, I gotta bring you down some, like Canelo can't still be number one pound for pound if he just lost to Bivol. But I'll say this, and I think I've said this before on the show. If the rematch with Bivol is at 168 and Bivol beats Canelo, then I think the people that are saying Canelo should not be number one on the pound for pound is justified, because now this guy's in your division that you cleaned up. He lost weight to fight you. He already beat you on 175. He comes back down, and now it's more even. It's a level playing field, and you still lose. You can't be number one anymore, in my opinion. So, but I like Canelo's confidence, but I hope he does develop a new strategy for that Bivol rematch.
All right, dollar bill.
There's so much. Where do I start? Okay. Canelo saying that he still should be number one on pound for pound. Canelo, don't even put yourself in that whole thing. Don't even, because I agree. You're doing what none of these other guys is doing. You're 5'8". Okay, you're midget, and you're going against this 6-footer, challenging yourself.
Yo, this guy.
The views and opinions of Chill do not reflect the Boxing Bros as a whole and all the other faces you see on this screen.
I'm so sorry. See, I didn't mean nothing by it. I meant compared to these giants.
I know what you meant. I just needed to make the disclaimer.
Nah,
Everyone know you didn't mean it to be offensive. You just, we're making a joke. That's all. But you already know they're going to be people who take things away.
Definitely.
What you trying to say, Trill? I'm 5'5".
Yeah, exactly. That's what they don't gonna get the joke. They're gonna be like, bro, it happens all the time. And the irony is, they say we don't understand sarcasm. Oh, yeah. I say pay-per-views in the UK cost $2, and they're like, it doesn't really cost $2. I'm like, bro, you think I don't know that? Like,
or they're gonna take insensitive,
it's not $2
comments, right? Or they want to take insensitive comments about racism and be like, y'all don't understand humor. Our humor. No, y'all don't understand what's going on over here. But as far as where it goes with Canelo, you're in your own class, homie. Because nobody is doing what you're doing. Nobody is challenging themselves and trying to do great things. Well, they are. There's some. But you had set the bar. You was the one that first was the one starting it. And your resume says it. Canelo, I don't even want to talk about pound for pound, right? We know. People know. Even if they don't want to give you no credit, they know. Like, you lose to Bivol, right? They in the comment section like they done beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Trail, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, yo, we've been doing this show for like 3 years. You can track our predictions for 3 years. We're more accurate than the people they actually see on their television who call this stuff. But you get one thing wrong, and now all of a sudden you don't know nothing.
Trill, told you, he's a hype job. Are you kidding me? But yeah, Canelo, I gotta get in on you, because not only do I like you, right? I like you to the point where I got to keep it 100 with you. And that's what I do, right? I don't care if I like you and I think that you're a great fighter. If I see a little bit of capness, I'm going to call it out. no matter who you are. And everybody knows Saul, my guy. But it was just some things I had to write down. Because it was more than just fatigue, Canelo. Because just like how you watched this fight, I like you, right? I watched this fight back a couple of times. Because I didn't want people thinking that they beat me. You know what I'm saying? No. It was more than fatigue. It was the wrong game plan, my brother. You are a boxer puncher, but you forgot the boxer part. You know, I think he was overconfident. Too much swag in the first couple of rounds. Remind me of AB's last fight when he was landing one punch at a time and looking at his work. Canelo, you, my guy, could have did more. I really feel like you could have did more to assert yourself and win that fight. You started blaming it on fatigue, but you didn't put yourself in position to win that fight. I just thought you had it automatically, right off the back. You know, you didn't box that fight. And I really believe if you would have boxed, it would have been a different fight. Just because this guy you basically gave him the fight to me. And then maybe you did tire yourself out by trying to go for the knockout. But I think it was no respect there. And I think that was the problem with that fight. You know, I think it was too much confidence. When I was watching that fight back, it was just the hitting and then the walking away strutting. Hitting him and then walking away strutting. I was like, yo, bro, too much swag. You know?
Yo, but Triller worked at 168.
You can't be too cool.
Then you lose.
Too cool, you go lose.
So that's what it was. He was too cool in there. Canelo, you was too cool. Too cool for school. And if you're too cool, you're going to lose. And that's what happened. And I'm glad when I'm hearing him saying that, you know, he got that killer instinct back. You know, he's a different beast now. Y'all done woke him up. Got dude over there talking crazy. You know, so listen, we're going to see what he's going to do in this fight. But I think it was just more than a little bit of fatigue. And Canelo, don't worry about that whole pound for pound talk. You know how it is when you get at the top, right? Right? There's some people that have this problem within themselves, right? They just got to hate on every. Floyd went through it. LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. When you're at the top, people don't like you. They find something to say about you. You know? So don't worry about this pound for pound. Just continue doing what you're doing. We already know you're a Hall of Famer already. First ballot. Hall of Famer. Just give him his jacket and his ring now. You know? Shout out to Canelo. But it's a little bit more than fatigue, I seen.
All right. TBE.
Nah, I agree with Trill. I was about to. That's what I was thinking when I was about to speak on this. Before I want to speak on it, I want to say, Canelo is going.
Canelo.
Sorry, right. Canelo is going through bigorexia, and like I said in the last segment, to gain so much weight in a small period of time is not healthy, and for that, Canelo witnessed the downfalls of that path he chose to take. But going on to this, him saying he was fatigued against Bivol, yes, he was, because a lot of rounds, he would stand up in the later rounds. He would stand up in the corner, then sit down and start huffing for. He's huffing and puffing. You know, he was too arrogant. He forgot to box, and he thought he could just bully Bivol. And when he was landing his shots, but he wasn't landing the correct shots. And I think Canelo can outbox Bivol. I think Canelo can beat Bivol. He just used the wrong strategy. He got frustrated early, and he stuck. Like, you know, it's like me, for instance, when I play Madden, I used to use these trick plays. They're called money plays. They're supposed to work every drive. You know, I had a strategy set up. And then as soon as I threw like 3 interceptions, I'm going back to I just use these same plays in rotation.
Wait,
same plays in rotation.
Canelo, hold on. Wait, Ned. You compared Canelo being tired in the corner of a physical contest that demands peak physical conditioning to you playing Madden.
Listen, I'm going to break it down. I would
Sweating
I would implement certain play actions.
Letting that cook. Letting that cook.
What is he cooking?
I would implement certain play actions, run plays, certain fake outs, certain. It was certain schemes. Like I'll come out in a certain form. I had an offense for. I had a certain play for like a scheme for every offensive play, and I'll come out if it run the ball, play action, a draw, and then my money play. And then when my those draws, the play action things wouldn't work, I would just stick to my money plays, and I would get. And at the end of the game, it's like 11 interceptions. I'm like, damn, that is terrible.
You trash.
That's trash. Like I threw 11 interceptions, but I don't play Madden like that no more. But back in my heydays, I was a monster. But
with 11 interceptions?
No, I'm just saying. You beat me the defense. You can't just. He's like, damn. Like how can I? Like he's just sitting in the middle of the field. Use a pick, and it's just frustrating. It's frustrating.
Now
bring it back to
your
plays, and they know what you're doing. Like but you're in your head. It's like I'm gonna get him. He can't stop it. But Canelo, I'm just saying, Canelo got a little frustrated because, what is it? He does that thing where he hits guys in the arm. You saw it against Callum Smith. You saw it against Caleb Plant. You saw it against Billy Joe and Yildirim and all the other guys. And it's like my power will overwhelm you, and he got lost in the power. And I felt like that's all you saw. It was like that's not working. Switch it up. That's not working. Switch it up. Like it was. And at the end of every round, he just stand in the corners, act like he did something, and then sit down and he's huffing and puffing. It's like he was. I know, it sounds insane, but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. He didn't have a plan B.
Plays, but he keeps throwing interceptions.
Yeah.
He didn't have a plan B. He kept doing the same thing.
He kept doing the same thing over and over again.
I get what you were saying.
When if Canelo ever faced Bivol again, he'll come with a better strategy, and he actually boxed this time because, like Trill said, he's a boxer puncher, but he did all the punching, no boxing. And this time, I think he can outbox Bivol because Bivol is as talented as he is. He's no Canelo.
So, another thing that has become a crime on this show is agreeing with you all, particularly my brother Trill Dollar Bill. Although Trill usually goes before me, so if it's something, it's usually me agreeing with him. But anyways, let's talk about this for a second. I do feel like Canelo's loss to Dimitri Bivol is being overblown because people act like Bivol dominated him or like Bivol had him on the brink of being knocked the hell out or something like that, which is extreme exaggeration, also known as hyperbole. So the hyperbole with Bivol's performance to me is like kind of symbolic of the hate for Canelo. So people hate Canelo so much they root for whomever he's fighting. It's not necessarily about the other guy. It's about they just want to see Canelo lose, right? So they got to see Canelo lose, so it's big up Bivol. But realistically, what did Bivol do? And in watching that fight, I do feel like Canelo got tired. Which, to point out what Trill said, what G said, what Ned even said, is he was doing arrogant things. Like hitting the arms, just swinging. And I feel like he felt he was going to be able to break Bivol down regardless of where he hit him. Because in the past, he was able to do that with other guys. Like Callum Smith, like Billy Joe Saunders, even Caleb Plant to a degree. He just felt like at some point, my power is going to be enough to overwhelm this guy. And kudos to Bivol. It didn't, but you did hear Bivol at the end of that fight. My arms are more sore than anything else. So realistically, what Canelo has to do is realize that that plan isn't going to work against Bivol. Bivol's smart. He understands as long as you're hitting me on the arms and everything, I'm good. It's the other places I don't want you to hit me. Which brings me back to what Trill said when he said fatigue isn't the only reason you lost that fight. It was your game plan. Which is absolutely true. It was his game plan because he went in there like he was just going to steamroll Bivol and didn't realize he's the smaller guy who should utilize his boxing skills, should utilize speed, quickness, and things of that nature. He didn't do that. For one, if they do fight again, what I would like to see him do is make Bivol open up more. You notice when Canelo stopped and said, "Come here now. Why don't you try to attack me?" Bivol said no and walked away. Because he was afraid to open up because he knew if he opened up, Canelo might catch him. In the beginning, Canelo doesn't need to play those games of proving power and all that. He needs to force Bivol to open up and throw punches. And he needs to be in position to counter. Two, he needs to abandon that strategy of just throwing hard punches anywhere and hoping that Bivol's going to lower his shoulder. No. Place punches, throw punches with a purpose. I'm calling it right now. And I can see it now. Oh, the Canelo lovers. But if he catches Bivol clean, it's over. And that's really all he needs to do. He needs to be spending his time looking to catch Bivol clean and not with this arm stuff. And he needs to make Bivol open up. So if he's throwing in Bivol's knot, he needs to make it apparent to the judges. Right? If you push Bivol back to the ropes and he doesn't want to throw and he doesn't want to throw, then don't exert yourself, but throw more punches, and do your best to place them so you can land more punches. Now I hear people saying, "Oh, that sounds easy. You're just hating on Bivol." Again, what has Bivol done? There's the comment section. Write it down. His greatest thing is he beat Canelo. But it wasn't like he didn't do what Better BF did to Joe Smith. Now, we were talking about Canelo versus Better BF. I'll be having a different discussion with you right now. But Canelo versus Bivol, I think that's all right. We ain't talking about Better BF. And I'm not hating on Bivol. And I'm not taking anything away from Bivol. I'm not even saying Canelo would win the rematch. I'm just saying the way he fought the first fight made it very easy for Bivol. And if he wants to improve his chances, if he wants to make it a more difficult fight, he needs to change what he did. That's all I'm saying. Now, Bivol won. Kudos to him. Hopefully, we'll get the rematch. I'm not one who feels like we shouldn't get the rematch because I actually feel like Canelo could do better in the rematch. So I hope we get the rematch. And if Bivol wins again, kudos to him.
And shout out to Canelo for even wanting a rematch, man. That's a true warrior. See, all these other guys are scared to fight each other, but Canelo, he still wants to prove that he's great. And why would you hate on that? Like, what type of person do you got to be just to see this guy trying to go out here? You see his resume, and you see that he's still trying to accomplish greatness. Even after he lost to a guy, he still wants the automatic rematch to go back in there to prove himself, and you got the gall. Y'all definitely got the nerve. Yo, who raised you?
Yo, and just to add, Trill, the Canelo strategy, although it was a horrible strategy, it was the same strategy he utilized to clean up 168. He tried to do that at 175, and it did not work. And this guy still wants to run it back. I have to give Canelo that credit. Me personally, I don't think Canelo should do the rematch. But hey, if he think he got a key to victory, by all means, go for it. But, you got to give that credit to him. Same thing with AJ. I like to give AJ that credit as well because, to me, I feel like what Usyk did to AJ was also embarrassing, and AJ still willing to run it back. You know what I mean? So you got to give these champions, whether they got the belts or not, you got to give these guys that respect because, a lot of people couldn't go in front of thousands of people to go lose.
Millions, bro. Millions watching.
Yeah, you're right. My
millions
bad.
watching.
It's not pay-per-view. Millions of people watching you get your butt whooped. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, nah, run it back. Knowing that there's a chance. Same thing with Wilder. Knowing there's a strong chance you're going to get spanked and you still go out there and get violated. Salute to those gentlemen, man. So, hey, it's crowd.
Yeah. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know who we are. We're the Boxing Bros.